Hello everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. Got the microphone on here. Just gonna wait for people to start getting on and hang out because we're gonna do some packing. There's nobody here. Still nobody. Still no one, still no one. Here we go. People are starting to filter in. Afternoon, my friends. I thought I would just throw together a quick, impromptu, kind of unplanned live stream. It's been a minute since I've done one of these, and they're a lot of fun. I've got the lapel mic on, so if you can't hear me, let me know in the comments. But what is happening today? It is Thursday, and I'm getting ready for an upcoming backpacking trip, and I thought I would go through all the gear that I've got planned. I've got a lot of things that are going through my head gear-wise for the Highline Trail, which is coming up here in 3 or 4 weeks, somewhere around that time. And so I am just trying to get out on some additional trips before I tackle that with my friend Jim. So if Jim happens to show up on here, he can let us know that he's here. But I've got a bin full of gear, and part of the reason that I wanted to do this is I just had a brand new backpack show up that was delivered to my house. Let me know in the comments. Can you guys hear me? I'm not seeing anybody chatting yet. But I just had a brand new pack get dropped off by Dylan, who owns Pilgrim Ultralight. So why not pack a brand new backpack and kind of go through some of the additional gear items that I've got recently that I ordered and purchased that I'm really stoked on. So if you've got questions, let me know. Sorry, this pointing it seems aggressive. But it's just fun to hang out. Just excited to spend a half hour, 45 minutes with you guys, and thanks for being here. So this pack is the Pilgrim Ultralight Highline. It's a 35-liter internal capacity. That's the size that I chose. It's pretty unlikely that this is going to be the pack that I take on the Highline because of that size, but I went with a smaller size because very often I'm using a 35-liter to 40-liter size pack for most of my trips. So I wanted something that was going to be better for kind of my weekend stuff. Ooh, Blue Blaze. I fly out in the morning for the Uinta Highline Trail on Saturday. I'll let you know about that water at mile 12. Just as a side note, a new fire just started today on the far west side of the range. I would keep an eye on what that's looking like, and potentially any contingencies that might come for the western side of the range, around like the Rock Creek Basin, Dead Horse Pass, and Red Knob area. That's kind of where the fire is. So I don't mean to be bad news, but potentially this fire is making some adjustments for a trip that I've got planned as well. So we'll see what happens. But any questions for the pack, let me know. We're gonna load stuff in here, but I also purchased just recently, I thought I'd give these Migo water bottles a try. They finally were available for sale again, the Miranda bottles. So excited to give those a shot, and then going to be doing some fishing on this upcoming trip. So I've got my fly rod here, I've got my reel, and then what else? There's a lot of things in here. Cook set is my Toaks 550 milliliter. I've got the Soto Amicus in here, and then 100-gram canister. All this will come together more as we get going. But then for food, I've got a food bag kind of staged, ready to go. This is my Mesa XL food bag, and this is a 6.5-liter food bag right now. There's 4.5 pounds of food in here for a weekend trip. Might be a little excessive, but that is that. My first aid kit. This is in a Backcountry Exposure little ditty. And electronics. This is just like battery banks, charging cables, my pump, and my headlamp. So that's electronics. Zoleo satellite communicator. My Ombras sunglasses, prescription sunglasses. And then let's go through like water filter, soda squeeze, Canuck. And then bug repellent. I've got a fanny pack with all my fly fishing stuff in it. If you got questions, comments, things, let me know. I had plans to hike every trail to Signal Peak on the Pine Valley Mountain here in St. George, but the fire has basically ruined all that. Man, the fire season here in Utah is sketchy right now. There's just really, really bad fires. Like the fire at the north rim of the Grand Canyon that's still burning, crazy out of control. The Monroe fire, those fires that are down in the St. George area, this new fire that just started 2 hours ago in the Uintas. There's just, we need the rain, and there is not any relief coming. It feels like it's just sucks. I don't like it. Oh, there's a question. What headlamp is that? This is the Claymore Cap-On 40B headlamp. So this functions as like a lantern because it's got LEDs here on the top, but then it also has your headlamp function as well as red lights. So it comes with this mini carabiner. So I can run this just off the loop at the top of my tent. But then if I had a hat on, I would show you. But this clip will just clip right onto the bill of your hat, and then you're all set. So it's, I don't know, a little bit easier. I like it than a lot of headlamps. I find that I don't use my headlamp very often. Most of the time, I'm using it in a lantern function. So there's that. Let me know if there's any other questions. Oh man, yeah, 100% containment on those fires around St. George, which is the southern corner of Utah. The wilderness area is off limits. Bummer, dude. I've wanted to spend some time up in that Pine Valley area as well because that range is just unique from a geological standpoint, but yeah. The Dragon Bravo is the coolest name of a fire I could imagine. Very fitting, right? To have dragon in the name. Okay, let's go through more gear and then we'll pack this. I purchased a couple weeks ago a new tent that I have had my eye on for a very, very long time. And in the effort of trying to be as efficient as I possibly can be with weight, but also simplicity in setting up and just kind of in that mindset of how lightweight can I be for an extended trip that's 6-7 days long. If you want to take a guess at what tent this is, let me know. It is made of Dyneema. It's single walled and it is a semi-freestanding tent. Take a stab in the comments in the chat of what tent you think this is. This is the pole set for it. And then I got my stakes in one of my Backcountry Exposure stake bags. Are you an ultralighter? Yes and no. Like, I just want to be as lightweight as I can be, but I've never had a sub 10 pound base weight, if that counts. I just try to be efficient and lightweight. So there's that. No, it is not the X-Dome. I love the X-Dome. I used it on one of my recent trips. I think it was packed for the last time I did a live stream. Yeah. Okay, here's a question. Have you checked out Hilltop Packs? I have. Many, many times. In fact, So I do make my own gear. I'll get to the tent and what tent it is here in a second. But somewhere in here, I have kind of partnered or purchased from Hilltop Packs some of these speed hangers that I'm selling on my website. So I'm taking those to put those to use. But Hilltop's amazing. Ben is awesome and super cool. Make sure you update your saved Onyx maps. Just got a notification that even saved offline maps have access to, yes, the 3D topography. If you go into your Onyx, it'll like, when you click on your downloaded maps, it gives you the option to update, and then it will update that 3D file, which is cool. Okay, since nobody else is guessing, this is the Tarp Tent Rainbow Lithium. It's the single person and is about 26 ounces for the tent body, the poles, and the stakes. So if you know me in my backpacking, I really enjoy simplicity in setup, and very often I'm setting up in areas that can't drive stakes into the ground. So having something that's semi-freestanding is really, really helpful in just making it possible to set up. So, okay, let's go through some clothing items, and then we'll get into sleep system. Rain jacket by Outdoor Vitals Tusher. And then I have the Outdoor Vitals Pursuit Hybrid Fleece. This I have been testing. This one's actually a prototype here. I've been testing this for a good year. Brigham, who is their lead designer or the design director for Outdoor Vitals, is a good friend of mine, and he has been super kind to let me test and provide feedback on a lot of prototypes. But this hybrid hoodie is coming out, I think, at the end of the month or very soon. So really, really excited about that. But it's a great layer. And then on top of that, I've got not the Ventus, what is this? The Vario jacket from Outdoor Vitals. It's still summer. I went on a trip a few weeks ago and I had my Arc'teryx down jacket. Didn't even touch it. Didn't wear it once at all. So it was just kind of unnecessary for me to have. And then the rest of the clothes that I'm taking on this trip is an extra pair of socks, an extra pair of underwear, and then some thermal bottoms for sleeping, just to take the chill off if it gets cold. Okay, sleeping gear. A pad that I've not used in quite some time is the all-season tensor from Nemo. It's about 19 ounces, a little bit lighter weight than my Zenbivy pad, so I'm just looking to save a little bit of weight, and the trade-off is this is not as comfortable as the Zenbivy, but again, trying to be as lightweight as I can. Then in here, I'll pull this out if you guys really want me to, but it's just packed, ready to go. This is a new quilt that I purchased last week that just showed up a couple days ago. This is the Katabatic Swatch 15-degree down quilt. I have wanted to try a Katabatic quilt for a very long time, and so I'm finally giving it a try. 15 degrees is probably going to be way too hot for this trip that I have coming up, but I'll sleep naked if I need to. Just not like I want to test this before I take it on the High Line and be in those much colder temperatures. But this thing is super light. It's under 30 ounces with the Sea to Summit 8-liter stuff bag. Can you see the flies flying around, buzzing on my head? It's a really bad fly season right now, and I don't like it. Then, in addition to the quilt, I've got a hybrid pillow that I've kind of pieced together from two pillows. This outer bag, or this outer case, is the Quillo case from UGQ Outdoor, and inside of it I have put the down topper and the air bladder from the Zenbivy soft top pillow. The reason that I'm using this is It is the exact same weight as the case for the soft top pillow as the Quillo cases, if that makes sense. With the elastic strap here to just keep it in place around the pad. Because I'm not using a sleeping bag, I'm putting this around the pad and it'll hold it in place a lot easier. My chair. I am 100% taking a chair on every trip now. Last trip I went on when I was out with Braxton, one of the founders of Pika Outdoors, we did a lot of miles in a day, a lot of just hard hiking through a lot of burn area, and I didn't take a chair, and I regretted it instantly. It was a mistake to not take a chair. I've got something going on with my lower back, whether it's like a disc issue or something, that I am not happy when I just sit on the ground, like it hurts. So I'm old and I'm taking a chair. I'm not actually old, but you get the point. And then my long handle spoon. And I think that's pretty much it. I do have my poop kit that just has my trowel. I am testing a new trowel from Hilltop Packs, since one of you mentioned that. The Dig and Rip. Look at this thing. It's got like big teeth on there, so you can just like rip out the roots. So I'm excited to give this a shot. And that's in one of my bags as well. This isn't meant to be just a bunch of self-promotion, but if you want to check out my gear, you know where to go. Okay, I'm going to look at comments here because I've just been talking. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. It's fun to just jump on these random live streams and hang out. But we're going to pack this bag and see how much all of this gear weighs. Do you have a good setup for Philmont Scout Camp? I need more context on that. I need more context. How often do you put down stuff in compression sacks, and how do you feel about it? That's a great question. I am of the opinion that down when it's dry, compressing it is not a problem. And doing that for an extended period of time is also not a problem. If you go onto the Western Mountaineering website, you can read about like their philosophy and their theory of down compression and being compressed. Obviously, I feel that keeping your down uncompressed in long-term storage is totally the way to go. But I don't have any issue with compressing my down and feeling like it's not going to loft up. So I think there's a lot of, I wouldn't say fear mongering, but just like, I don't know how to phrase it without sounding like I'm being holier than thou. But I think that there's just like a lot of maybe misinformation out there about how down is treated and how you protect it, and the volatility and the fragileness of down. I think it's a lot less fragile and vulnerable than we make it out to be. So those are my thoughts on down. Other questions? Keep them coming. I love the questions. Local Libre Ghost Pepper Recon is what I'm looking at right now to replace my REI camp blanket. Never used any of the Local Libre stuff, but seems to be super nice. Maybe some guesses for the tent, Tiger Wall, or the Hornet Osmo. Again, it's the Tarp Tent Rainbow Lithium with a Nemo. Didn't even notice that. I've just got a strap around it, a Nemo strap, as opposed to taking the stuff sack. The strap is lighter than the stuff sack and easier to handle. Yeah, Stoned Ape Adventures, it's the Tarp Tent Rainbow Lithium. Do you have a good recommendation for a backpack for Philmont Scout Camp? My understanding with Philmont is like you're out for a week and maybe, like I never did Philmont. I'm not like massively familiar with it, but I would say something like this REI Flash 55, this pack right here, this yellow one, would be a good starting point. Something larger in the 65 liter range might be good. The thing is like, choose your pack once you have all of your other gear figured out, so that you're able to make sure that it all fits in the pack. Have you heard any updates for the 2025 version of the Outdoor Vitals Shadow Light backpack? Yes. I've got one right here. Let me grab it. Hopefully it's not too difficult to pull off the wall here. Oh. I'm okay. I'm just falling. Wow. There's more going on here than I thought. Oh, come on. Okay. You got to watch me struggle. This is the updated brand new Shadow Light backpack. This is a 60 liter pack, which for me is a very large pack. But if you know kind of the design of the CS40, which is also being discontinued, they're not going to be making the CS40 anymore. There's a new pack coming out that'll be like a 50 liter size, that will just be smaller than this and not have the center zip. But the updates from what I know, because I didn't have a previous generation Shadow Light, is the front pockets here are the ultra stretch mesh. And then, let's see, you still have your side tall pockets. But the biggest thing is they updated the back panel in the frame. So this is where that similarity to the CS40 comes into play. It has a very similar design and back panel and frame, because I think it is carbon fiber stays that are in here with this pack. So I think it's pretty slick. I haven't packed it up or used it yet. I just got it like a week or 2 weeks ago. But I do think from what I have seen of other people carrying Shadow Lights, this is a nice update and pretty cool. So hopefully that answers your question. Is it Sorry, I'm just working through more of the chat here. I love all the questions. I just love hanging out with you guys. What's my favorite lake or route in the Uintas? Oh man, the Uintas in general are just amazing. Like, so many cool places. I love the Granddaddy Basin. I love the Four Lakes Basin area as well as Naturalist Basin. All of those areas are phenomenal. Allsop Lake, I went to a couple years ago. That basin is amazing. Kings Peak, like so many. The whole range is incredible. There's not really anything bad. It's fantastic. So, Monkey Ape Man, Reese. Good to see you, man. If you know, you guys aren't going to know him. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Reese and I used to work together many years ago. Thoughts on the Haven Spectre? If you haven't watched my video on it, go check it out. I took one of the production samples out on a trip, so I don't own one yet. I'm going to be getting one because I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's fantastic sleep for a hammock. I actually sleep well in that thing. It's great. Do I know if Osprey has a lighter pack than the Rook 50? Yes. The Exos series of packs is a great option. How about hiked the Smokies? No, I've never hiked anywhere east. I mean, I was in Michigan last year, but I didn't really backpack. We were just car camping. What are your thoughts on the Hyperlight backpack line? I've got a Hyperlight right here, and actually have ordered an Unbound 40 that I think is going to be the pack that I take on the Highline. that I really, really want to try. But if not, I'll take the Southwest 55. They're great packs. I was really skeptical of them until I tried it. They just seemed kind of like overhyped, or I don't know, that's not really fair to say. I am somebody that really likes load lifters on packs. They don't have load lifters, and carrying a 55 liter size pack is a big pack. And so I stayed away from it for a long time because I was concerned that it wasn't going to carry well, but I used that a few different times and it's been great. Yeah, they're fantastic packs. Let's see. Any idea when you'll review the Keith Titanium 6302? You teased it in an earlier video. I likely will do that closer into the fall season in the winter. More likely the time that I'd be using that. But the Keith Titanium products, they're fantastic. Really, really good products. So I love all the questions. I want to also pack my pack, but this is awesome. You guys are so fun to hang out with. How well do trekking pole tents do in southern Utah when the ground is too hard to stake out? I would go with it depends. It depends on the area, and for the most part, I've been able to use trekking pole tents in a lot of places in the sand. Where they become tricky is if you are setting up on slick rock and can't get anything into the ground, because then you're relying on rocks, and very often the rocks with the sandstone, they're just not heavy enough to have enough holding power. So I would say it depends, and it depends on the tent as well. Some tents require a lot more tension at the stakeout points. The tent that I've had the best luck with is the X-Mid in the desert. So, all right. Have you hiked to Red Castle Lake in the Uintas? Doing that trip in a couple weeks. That is actually the destination for my next trip. And I've never been to Red Castle, but super stoked about it. And so that'll be what I'm looking forward to doing as the trip before I do the Highline. I'll be curious what this new fire presents in being able to go do that, because hopefully that fire doesn't move that far east and become a problem, but we'll see. What do I think about the new Hyperlight material they're using now? Is it more durable? I haven't actually done really any research on it, so I can't really speak to it too heavily. So I think it's like a woven material similar to Ultra is what I gather from the surface level stuff that I've seen, but I don't know. I know that they're updating the Southwest and the Junction and the Windrider line, I think. So that'll be interesting. Who is your favorite YouTuber to hike with? That's not a fair question. I've hiked with so many cool people, and it's been a while since I've hiked with another creator actually. Eric Hansen, I think, was the last creator that I hiked with. Eric was awesome. I've spent time with Dan Becker. I've hung out with Justin Outdoors and Steven from My Life Outdoors, and a bunch of other smaller creators, like my good friend Christian. He's got a channel. He and I did a trip recently. So it's you can't say your favorite. It's like saying your favorite child, even though we all secretly have favorites. Okay, keep the questions coming. I'm gonna pack this pack, and we're gonna see how much it weighs. From the gear that you've seen here, if you were to guess how much it weighs, now keep in mind, I've got a full bag of food, so it includes food weight, but it doesn't have bottles that are full of water. So I'm excited about this pack. This is just really nice looking. A little strange to do this over here, but like I always do, start with my sleeping bag at the very bottom of the pack. And then I'll tuck my sleeping layers of clothing right in front of that. 32 pounds. Whoa, I hope it's not that heavy. I am gonna guess, and I have no idea because the pack, it just showed up today. I don't even remember how much it weighs. We're probably gonna be, I'm not gonna say it, actually. You guys need to guess. You need to guess. You need to be part of this. This is fun. Okay, so then I'll put my tent down in there, and then in front of that will be my sleeping pad. Move some of these random things out of the way. Ooh, socks. There we go. Anybody else got cool, like fun weekend plans? Anything exciting? See, this is just awkward. It's just really tall. But I want you to see it. 27.4 pounds, 17 pounds. That's going to be too light. We'll see though. We will see. Let's roll up the pillow. Any of this gear that you've seen that you're like really stoked about, that maybe you've been looking at, that you're excited to try for yourself? Let me know. I also at some point I want to do a giveaway. I've got all of these cool, fun bags that I make, and I want to do a giveaway. Just need to figure out how I want to do that. But yeah. Okay, let's get the cooking stuff in here. And then my fly reel. I'm enjoying how this pack is packing. It's also really hot in my garage. I've got some fans blowing on me, but this is what I suffer through every day. Now this pack is a framed pack, but the frame goes pretty like far around the perimeter of the pack as opposed to like down through the spine. So that'll be interesting. I gotta put this on the ground. I can't see. This is just awkward. My steaks, and then my fly fishing gear. Let's see here. That goes on the front. Put my spoon in here. Keep asking questions. If you got any questions. Ben says, I've been looking at the watch. I think that's how you say it, but he's been looking forward. Always looking forward to how I like it. Man, I can't read and talk at the same time. When are you doing the Highline? Which starting point? So I don't give out specific dates, just because of various reasons. But around the end of summer is when I'm going, and I'm starting at McKee Draw. So doing the full 104 miles. I think that's pretty good for everything to go on the inside. Maybe I'll put my electronics. Also don't have all of my, all my camera gear in here, but that's not too excessive. The food bag, if you missed it at the beginning, Mesa XL, 6.5 liter bag. Nice. This is pretty slick, my friends. This is the pack's right here. I'll pull it up on the table here in a second. Okay. This is packing pretty slick. I like this. All right, now we got all the stuff to put here in the front. So my first aid kit. Where is my pack liner, sir? I don't use pack liners hardly ever unless I am expecting some rain. And there is no rain in the forecast. I use a pack liner maybe twice a year. Whoops, I don't need my chapstick in there. Chapstick goes there. Water filter. Yeah, this is packing really nice. I'm excited about this. Put my Zoleo here up on the shoulder strap. I wonder if I'm gonna have to put my, I like to put my chair in the side pocket, but those pockets are not as big as I thought they would be. And these bottles, these Miranda bottles, they're bigger than I expected as well. We'll figure it out, because I can't get 2 bottles in one side. But I still got my fly rod. It's gonna work. It's gonna work, people. It's gonna work. This is just for the sake of demonstration, figuring out a new pack. And then my sunglasses, which we'll put in here. Okay, I gotta go get my scale. But put your guesses on what you think the weight is before I lift it up. I'll make my own guess. Hold that thought. It feels nice. It feels super nice. There is also a bottom pocket on this pack. Pretty excited about that. Okay. We're gonna weigh this puppy. I'm gonna say, let's see, 23 and a half. Oh no, okay, here we go. Off the table. Oh, I was way off. 19.8. So then add 4.5 pounds of water. That's not bad for a weekend of also carrying fishing gear. And I've got a bit of food. I think that's pretty nice. Let's see how the pack is with weight in it, how it feels on the back. Okay. Ooh. I can get behind that. Don't worry. The dad bod, it comes out in full force when you put a hip hold on. What do you think? How does that look? It's not a bad feeling pack. I'm excited about that. Another 4 pounds in there. Around the 25-pound total mark. That's pretty good. A little bit of protruding happening here on the back. But yeah, what do you guys think? This is the Pilgrim Ultralight Highline. There we go. What other questions you guys got for me? It does not rain in Utah. I don't remember the last time it rained. It has been that long. I don't remember the last time it rained. Just did an overnighter, first time backpacking with my daughter up to Weaver's Needle with a 65-pound pack. Woo, good for you. on multiple reasons. Sorry, there's a fly on my phone. How was it? Like, I adore getting out with my kids. They are so fun to be out there with. It's just amazing. Kids are a blast, and it's a good experience. What is your fly fishing setup? Oh, Dakota, dude, it's good to see you. I love Dakota's channel. One of the most hilarious creators on YouTube right now. That guy, you're hilarious. I love your videos. My fly fishing setup is a 8'6" Redington Crux rod with the Redington Rise reel in a 4-weight. So that's that. I was like really heavily getting into fly fishing at one point, and then it's just kind of like hit the back burner a little bit. But I've got a couple of Redington rods that are super fun. What other questions do you guys have? In the event, what am I trying to say? The idea of this is obviously to test more gear, kind of get ready for the Highline. But I've also wanted to try a Pilgrim ultralight pack for a long time. And so it was really cool to meet Dylan today. He stopped by my house, dropped the pack off. And it's nice when other gear makers are local, and to have that ability to connect and chat for a bit. There's flies in my garage. I can't stand the flies. They drive me nuts. But I've got the Blue Smoke Ultra Grade fabric here on the pack. And it's already like really apparent to me that this pack isn't going to work for the Highline. I have a weekend worth of food in here. I can't imagine getting 7 days of food and this being comfortable enough. But I do also guide university students. I've got 2 university classes that I teach. And so a pack of this size is a perfect guiding pack for me, and just a really, really nice weekend option. Really, really stoked about this. It's made really nice. It has a lot of features that I think are going to be really exciting to have out on the trail. It's really minimal, but also like just high quality construction. This is great. So anybody else used a Pilgrim pack? I'd be curious what your thoughts are. What other questions? Any questions? Any tips for backpacking with kids and what age to start? I would say for what age to start is whatever's comfortable for you. And that could be as early as you're carrying them like on your front. We've been camping with our kids as early as them being 6 weeks old, and did like a week-long camping trip. Backpacking wise, I have taken my daughter when she was 3. My second daughter I took when she was 2.5. And my son, I took him when he was closer to 4. And then obviously just as they've grown from there, but really keeping in mind like what their capacity is, what your capacity is as a parent, and just being willing to like go with the flow. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like bail if you're not having a good time. There's no reason to like try to tough it out and make the kid like not enjoy themselves just for the sake of saying you went on a backpacking trip with your kids. There's a lot of information about backpacking with kids, but really just comes down to doing what's comfortable for you and starting when like you're confident in your skill set and being able to like also focus and take care of your kids at the same time. So yes, Ben just mentioned the Trail Magic carriers. They are fantastic. I don't have mine anymore because my kids are now too big for it. I gifted it to another friend, but they are a carrier that connects to the shoulder straps of your backpack. And then you're able to carry your standard pack. And then from there, you've got your kid on your front. So I've got a couple of videos on my channel of backpacking with my kids and a couple of trips, so you can check that out. And lots of snacks for young kids, lots of breaks and stopping whenever they see something cool. I agree 100%. Make it their trip. It's not your trip, it's their trip. Like, obviously you're gonna plan it, but if they want to stop and play in the dirt for 20 minutes, take your pack off and let them play in the dirt. Like, if you're pushing them to walk and walk and walk and walk just to get to camp, they're not gonna enjoy themselves as much. And bring their favorite stuffed animal. Shove it into the stretchy pocket of their pack so that they have that with them. So that's pretty key. What are the questions? We're coming up on like 45 minutes of hanging out. I appreciate you guys spending time with me today and just going through some new gear. So I'm gonna go back and make sure I didn't lose or miss any any questions. You gotta hang out with Miranda and Rainer. I would love to. They're on my list of people I'd like to hike with. So, man, okay. I think just because I got some other things to get done, and we've been hanging out for a bit, we're gonna call it quits here. So, I don't know how helpful that was, or if it was helpful. It was nice to just pack a new pack and see how all the gear fits inside of it. I got to do some adjustment to it with the bottles, but super fun, super fun. I had a trip today and my shoulder hurt so much. How do you make your backpack feel better? It's all about fit, in my opinion, and just reducing weight as much as you can. Like, I don't have really in-depth, like, quick things that are coming to mind, but make sure that a good hip belt, it's carrying the weight properly, and you can take a lot of that weight off of your shoulders. So anyway, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out, doing a lot of cool, fun things, and in here just working hard on various gear items. If you didn't already see, I've got this new roll top food bag that I just released a couple weeks ago in an 8-liter and a 12-liter size. The support on that has been awesome. Like, if you've ordered a bag from me, you guys rock. Like, thank you so much for the support. This machine and I are best friends right now, and I love it. And it's because of you guys. You're ordering stuff and taking it out on the trail and sharing it with me, and I just love that. I appreciate it. So hope you have a rad weekend. I'll be back with a report from this trip that I've got coming up at some point. And yeah, thanks guys. We will catch you later.